better deal filing separately or jointly. Most of the time you get the better bang for your buck if you file jointly.
Hello, caller, are you there? Hello? Hello?
I believe we lost them.
I
If
think
you have
we
any
did.
questions,
Please call
though,
back.
yes, go ahead and give us a call, and I'm sure they'll be happy to answer. What are some of the common questions that you get this time of year?
What can I deduct? Or can I deduct this? We encourage people to call us through the year before they move property, take money out of their retirement plan. If they go in or out of a business, that they consult with us first, just so that we can make sure that they're not stepping out and getting a tax hook. I mean, it's very easily to do something very simply but cause a tax consequence that you're not aware of.
What's your phone number for your office?
It's 423-875-6565.
Okay.
And we have a Facebook page. It's under Cheryl Dickert and Rutherford. We did not abbreviate that, and I apologize, but you can find that on Facebook as well, and it has all that information on it, as well as a link to the website.
Do you think people miss getting a bigger return back because they don't deduct everything they can? Do you think there are overlooked deductions?
Oh, yes. We amend a lot of returns where they didn't take advantage of the credits. The home buyer's credit, a couple of years ago, educator's credit people have missed. There's a mortgage insurance premium credit that people are missing that just came on board. A lot of that happens with people who do their own returns or they use, one of the, prepare your tax, on the computer.
Like a TurboTax?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to mention a name.
I'm
but
sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Not that those work well for people, but, we deal with this every day. This is what we eat for lunch. So your level of savvy, with the computer and reading stuff, is going to determine how well you're going to do when you do your own tax return.
And you guys are the pros, so it's much easier to go to you and say, what can I do, as opposed to trying to figure it out on your own.
And there are times when it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission where taxes are concerned. Permission is always the way to go. I mean, because like Perry said, you can get into a situation where you end up owing tax and innocently think, oh, this won't affect me tax-wise at all. And it
And
can.
then it does.
You were talking about amending earlier, is that right? How long, what is that process like if you notice that you missed something?
Well, when you amend a return, you send in a return again, but you have what's called a 1040X, which is an amended return, and you have the additional information in with that return, and you file it to the IRS.
How many years back can they amend?
About 3 years you can go back to amend a return.
Really?
And unfortunately, if the government owes you money and you're going back more than the 3 years, you'll lose that in most cases.
Now, we probably have some procrastinators watching who will wait to the last minute to file their taxes. So what would you encourage them to do this
Don't do
year?
that.
I guess it makes your life a lot harder.
Well, it's not that it makes it a lot harder. Sometimes there are things that I realize that it's kind of difficult to get everything together by April the 15th. What you don't want to do is push that envelope to where you're filing that return on or right at October the 15th, because then you as the taxpayer get in a rush. You're trying to throw things together and you may miss something because you waited till the last minute.
Hey, caller. We have a caller who tried to call back. Are you still there? Did we lose him again? Hello? Well, I'm so sorry. Hello? We lost him. I promise if you call back, we'll get your question asked.
I did not know about the student loan interest, though. That's very interesting.
I'm glad to know about that.
We're going to make a mental note of that this time around. But I mean, I'm sure there are so many other ones that people just miss.
Well, our tax laws are very complicated. They get more complicated every year. And, for us, I mean, everything's phasing in, phasing out. The levels, the, minimums are changing every year. So it's even hard for us to kind of keep up sometimes. I have to go look, is that still in date? Or do you qualify for that? But it's just like, again, we do this every day. So we're looking for your deductions.
So you have individuals, businesses, small businesses, large businesses. You're helping anybody really this time of year.
All right. And we also do a lot of work with nonprofits.
Yeah, talk a little bit about Stewardship for Life.
We, when I was on here last time, that is how I started my accounting practice. What we're hoping to do in the future is take it to a not-for-profit status where we can help low income with tax preparing and any issues they may have with the IRS. But it'll also allow us to open a door to do education where people who are having issues either with their taxes or with their finances will be able to offer them education. Because a lot of what we see is people just don't know. You know, well, if I start a business, what kind of entity should I be? Or they'll come in after they've created the entity and say, hey, so-and-so told me I should be a corporation, so now I am. Not knowing all of the reporting and the requirements for being a corporation, and their type of business might have just as well been a sole proprietorship, or if you guys went in together as a partnership versus a corporation. So we get that a whole lot. Here we've made this mess, can you fix it? So
The Money 101 class that we attended was very informative.
It was. I learned a lot from them.
Are you planning on doing any more of those?
I am, and we will probably start those once we kind of get towards April. I'm thinking sometime after March the 15th. We'll do another one. That'll give people an opportunity to kind of get their taxes filed and begin. You know, you start out in the new year, you say, oh, okay, I'm going to exercise every day. I'm not going to spend money in these areas, and I'm going to create a budget, and I'm going to do this. And that kind of gives you that time to get what you really want to put in practice this year, moving in that direction.
And hopefully by February, you're still sticking with it.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you know, some people, I was just gonna ask you something, and it left me. It was about taxes. Maybe it'll come back.
The class was very
It was
informative, though, because you also recommended that they bring maybe their debt, their bills, and so they could kind of figure out, like you said at the very beginning, where their money is going. And I think that's probably the first step.
That's one of the last little bits of the class, and I schedule that time on purpose because if I can make you do that while you're sitting in class, chances are you'll continue to do it when you leave.
Caller again.
Sure.
Hi, caller. Go ahead. Hello? Hello? Are you there?
We're having some trouble with the phone lines tonight.
Yes,
do
now I
believe.
remember my question. Some people have yard sales. They're supposed to count that money on their tax return. Is that correct?
Well, that's probably if it's a once a year type thing, it wouldn't be something that I would include on a tax return. I mean, that may not be what IRS would look at, but unless the volume of money. If you're making a couple of $100.
Every couple of weeks, yeah.
if there was a lady in our area that was having garage sales every week, and they forced her to get a license and start reporting. But normally once in a blue moon you're having a yard sale. That I don't think the IRS is going to be looking for that money.
Well, I was wondering too. I mean, if you paid taxes you've paid sales tax on those items up front.
Yeah.
How does that work? I mean, if you're reselling it, though.
Well, if you're in a business, you're going to pay, do the sales tax. But if you're doing a one-time event and you're not in the business of selling, then the state or revenue are not going to make you, report that income.
There's a yard sale.
Now, if you went out with a yard sale and you sold I'm selling my yacht, I'm selling, my car, then it puts you in a different category. But, household items, your church, that's I wouldn't see that as an income item.
I do have a quick question too. I work at a nonprofit, and we have done several giveaways before, and sometimes the items were donated to us. We don't do as many large-scale items now because what we found is people would, depending on the value of it, they would have to claim it as taxable income. What is the limit? I believe it's $600 or so if you, like a prize, if you were to win something. I guess people need to keep that in the back of their minds if they enter into drawings or sweepstakes, or if they were to go on a game show.
Yeah, it would be taxable if you like bought a ticket. I had a client that won the St. Jude house. I think it was like a $240,000 yes, estimated fair market value, and that's what we had to put on their income that year. So they actually paid tax on the $240,000.
So it puts them in a totally different bracket.
Yes.
Okay.
How
And
about if you want a car? Same thing?
Yes, you'd have to include it as income.
Wasn't there something on the news a couple of weeks ago? A guy won a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, something crazy, and was going to sell it because he couldn't afford the taxes on
Oh,
it. And
my
then he wrecked
goodness.
it within 6 hours of
Oh,
winning
wow. That is not good. Well, and a lot of times they'll have a non-transferable clause too when they accept the prize. So
it. You can't pass that to someone.
Right.
Okay, maybe. Hello? Hello? I think something's wrong with the.
With the phone.
Well, maybe not our phone, but can you hear us? Hello?
Maybe they could call from a different number.
Maybe so. I hate that we can't take their question. We're trying.
So as far as doing your own taxes, do you actually do your own, or do you get some help? So he does yours. Do you do his?
Nope.
No.
He does his own, and he's comfortable doing that. I said, no, I don't think I want to. I don't mind helping people budget, don't mind helping them set up their QuickBooks, make sure that they've got good controls in place, but I want somebody else looking over my shoulder going, hey, did you think about, because, you know, even we, like you said, we've got books that we get every year to make sure that we're not missing anything.
It's a second set of eyes.
Correct.
That's always good. I know I couldn't do it on my own. I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable.
Well, and you guys were talking about winning things. I was reading something a couple weeks ago. We get a publication from one of our associations that was talking about somebody that had a hobby, and they were selling things as a hobby. The IRS came back and said, oh, that's not a hobby, that's a business, and now you've got to have a business license and you've got to pay tax on this. So there are things that you need to be careful as far as that goes, the difference between a hobby and a business.
Hello? Hello? We just keep having some trouble.
We're
out of
trying
that
so
phone
hard,
line.
but
We're
it's
trying to
just-
take your call.
It's just not working out for us tonight. Well, any last minute words of wisdom before we wrap up and remind people where they can find you?
Keep good records. Organize your information before you bring it in, again, because you don't want to pay us for adding up your receipts. Pay us for our tax knowledge. And don't extend your return. If you owe money, do not extend your return. Still go ahead and file because the penalties after the 15th are change prior to. So
they'd end up owing a lot more.
right.
And Stephanie, tell us one more time where they can find you and on Facebook.
We are on Facebook with Cheryl, Dicker, and Rutherford, and our website is www.sdraccounting.com, and we're at 4513 Hickson Pike, Suite 105, and the phone number is 875-6565. If you've got tax questions, you can go to the Contact Us on our website and email us.
And we'll try to put that information on our Facebook page, which